Hi guys, welcome to Classic Rural Comedies, Facts, and Trivia. Thank you for being here. I got one today on Little House on the Prairies and Miss Beadle. Remember her? Charlotte Stewart. She talks Elvis, On the Run with Jim Morrison, and her Fling with Bill Murray. Imagine moving to Walnut Grove after spending your earlier years hanging out with Jim Morrison, the King, and even having a fling with Bill Murray. That's exactly what happened to a prominent figure from the fictional town of Little House on the Prairie, and it was a resident good girl. Little House on the Prairie star Charlotte Stewart, best known for playing beloved teacher Miss Beadle in the iconic frontier drama, will reunite with her former castmates for a 3-day celebration on December 12th through 14th at Strathern Historical Park in Simi Valley, California. She last joined the cast and crew there in March of 2024 for a special 3-day festival marking the show's 50th anniversary, where she openly reflected on her torrid past. Speaking to The Sun, Stewart starred in Little House for the first 4 seasons and then went on to have a wide and varied career in Hollywood. Perhaps most notably, she frequently worked with director David Lynch, playing Betty Briggs in the original Twin Peaks and its 2017 revival in Mary X in 1977's Eraserhead. She also starred alongside Elvis Presley in a 1963 movie Speedway, playing a waitress who serves a legendary singer. When I did Speedway with Elvis, I was married at the time to Tim Constantine. Elvis had just gotten married to Priscilla. Stewart told The Sun, and me, silly me, thinking, oh, we're both newlyweds. I think I'm just going to invite them over for supper. Then the second thought was, what are you thinking? This is Elvis. So no, but he was very sweet. She remembered one moment on the set when Presley held her hand and talked to her about his mother Gladys and what it was like when he was in the army and how they wouldn't let him go see her when she was ill. I was in high school in the 60s when Elvis was big. I never imagined that I would be on the set with him holding my hand and telling me about his mother, she stated. She was open about her love life. Young and the Restless alum has been married 3 times, but also had some memorable flings during her single years. Oh my God, Bill Murray, that was a fling, she said. I was single, you know. You can ask me about Jim Morrison. I had a really good romantic, lovely life. Remembering her relationship with the Doors frontman, Stewart shared we were friends. We were drinking buddies back in the 70s, so he called me up one day and he said, I got to get out of town. And I said, okay. He picked me up and he didn't even know where we wanted to go. So we just drove up to Highway 1, she continued. Took him to San Simeon, the Hearst Castle, and we went to Cambria. We spent 4 days on the road and came back to L.A. He dropped me off, and I never saw him again. Within 6 months, he was dead. She added we were very good, best friends with benefits. He was a good friend, and I miss him terribly. And I'm sorry he had such a really hard ending. In 2025, she further expanded on her relationship with Morrison with Fox Digital. He was quite a drinker, and often he needed to be driven home, so I would take him to my house because he trusted me. I didn't want him to be my boyfriend, she insisted. I didn't want to marry him. All I wanted was to be his friend. He drank like I drank at the time, so we became trusted friends, and he could count on me. She even helped him escape the law once. When he was wanted on felony charges in Florida for lewd behavior, you have to remember this was a very serious offense in Florida, she said. He was facing trial, so he came up to me and said, I got to get out of town. You want to go? I said, sure. We jumped in the car, and he didn't know where he wanted to go, so I directed him up Highway 1, which follows the Pacific Ocean all the way to Washington and Oregon. We just drove, stopping at bars along the way, staying overnight at motels. He trusted me at the worst time in his life, she said. He was facing jail for a long time. He trusted me just to be with him and be a friend. Morrison died of heart failure in July 71 at just 27 years old. After working with experimental directors and hanging with high-profile rockers, Stewart was ready for the quiet of Walnut Grove. The veteran actress recalled her audition for Little House, where she showed up in a tie-dye t-shirt and jeans. I walked in and there was Michael Landon, and I thought to myself, oh my God, this is really big. So they said, are you ready to read? And I looked at the producer who was sitting behind the big desk with all these executives around him, and I said, may I sit behind your desk? So he got up and moved, and I went around and sat in his chair, and all the men were kind of talking, and I went, quiet. She continued, I don't think you do that to studio execs. I don't know why I did it. It just came out of me, and I got the part. These days, Stewart is enjoying her retirement. I've never been healthier or happier in my whole life, she said. I love meeting fans because 50 years ago, most of them were just tiny little children, and Little House created such an impression. She was the wild child personified, and who would have thought it? That's all I got for you guys. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please like this video. I appreciate it. Please hype this video. Have a great day. God bless. Praying for you.